Hello everybody, welcome again to another Yaşam Tasarım episode. Today we are talking with Eylül Demirtürk and she's going to talk about a guy named Donald Crowhurst. So Eylül, how are you?
I'm good, what about you?
I'm fine too. So tell me, who is Donald Crowhurst?
Donald Crowhurst is a business owner, was a business owner, and he was an amateur sailor who liked sailing for his hobbies and to relieve stress. He was from England, and when he was little, his family was really poor. And when his father died, he had to leave school early to take on work to make more money for his family. After a while, he started working for the Air Force in 1950 as a pilot and an engineer. After a while, in 1957, he met his wife, Claire, and married her, and had 4 kids with her. After a while, again, he started his own business after he left his other job, and sadly, the business was going slow, even if he was a good inventor. And he actually didn't really like this. He didn't get enough money to feed his own family. He didn't make as much as he wanted. So when he heard about the global race, he wanted to join.
So what is the Golden Globe race?
Golden Globe race is actually a race that
I know that's a race.
that English Sunday Times newspaper organized. It was counted as the first non-stop solo yacht tour around the world. So it was kind of a big thing at the moment because it was the 1960s and the technology wasn't really that good. So yeah, but he did join, but there were like a lot of problems. Like he didn't have any money, he was close to bankruptcy, and he didn't have a boat to begin with. So he actually had to build his own boat with his own inventions and go at it like that.
So did he need any money to join this race?
Yeah, because he actually needed to buy some stuff, for like food, for drinking, because the race was really a long thing. He was going around the world for like 8 to 9 months. So he actually had to get sponsors for that. He firstly got a sponsor in a town. And the second sponsor was the Stanley Best, a local businessman and an actual investor in his company. So they knew each other before the race. But the problem was, even though he did get a sponsor from Stanley had a condition, and the condition was if Donald dropped out of the race in any time before it began or during it or at the end of it, he had to pay the money back to him, which was like really bad because he had no money, just like I said, and that would just leave his family to poverty. So he chose to go to the game, But lucky for him, the race had no requirements at all. As long as they started between the 1st of June and ended, as long as they started between the 1st of June and the 31st of October, they had no problem with that. But just like I said, he had no boat, so he had to build up his own. So that took a lot of time. Yeah, and he used a lot of his inventions as well, like his technology.
Can you tell me about these inventions and his technology?
One of the things he actually wanted to use was a revolutionary computer. It was actually going to recognize when the boat was tipping, and it had to trigger a flotation device. Yeah, but he actually couldn't add it because of the timeline. It was a really short timeline for him. Yeah, and he had to start the race with a lot of damages on the boat, and he had no time to repair.
So you told me that he was a businessman and he's a sailor. Did he have any experience before starting this?
He had, but he only did this as like a hobby, as a Sunday sailorman. He only went out with the boat for like a short time, just like fishing, going out to, relieve stress. But other than that, he had so little experience.
So why did he participate in this type of race?
This was kind of like a I don't know, like an idea for him. He thought that if he did win the race with his inventions, firstly, he would be counted as a national hero, and secondly, he would get publicity, which would actually be good for his company. Yeah, but on the 31st of October, he actually did take off. And he took off from the city that he was sponsored by, because they wanted tourists and visitors to come by. So yeah, and during that trip, voyage too, it was actually going to be 3 days trip, like a 3 days voyage, but it took 2 weeks. And during that time, they realized that the boat actually couldn't stand windward. It meant that it couldn't stand the wind coming against from the boat. So, but they didn't, like I said, they didn't have any time to repair that, and yeah, they had to go like that.
So his conditions were bad too, even his inventions didn't work.
Yeah, he couldn't add most of the things, and he had to delete all of the non-essential things to make the boat lighter, so that it would go faster. Yeah, and he had a little living capacity in the boat too, other than the others. Yeah.
And what did happen to him?
At the first, he was actually going great. You know, he was sending his conditions through telegrams, since the communication didn't go as well planned. They could only talk via radio voices or telegrams, so that was kind of bad. But all of the racers, all of the sailors had to report their conditions and their places at some time. But after a while, he realized that he was not going to make it. He was not going to survive the Southern Ocean, because at that place, since there isn't like a big mass of earth, big mass of land, there are a lot of big waves and a lot of bad storms. So his boat was not going to survive that. So at the 6th of December, I think, he decided to lie about his positions. While he was reporting it, he told them that he was way ahead than he actually was. Yeah, and he actually had a logbook. In the logbook, he had 4 logbooks. In one of them, he wrote the real places that he was on, and in the other one, he wrote the wrong places. Yeah.
So where did he disappear? Actually, do you know?
He actually disappeared in the mid-Atlantics. While he was going back, he actually disappeared after the second person just dropped out of the race, because the first person did enter and he couldn't get the Globe Award. Like, the first person to come back to the land would have gotten the Golden Globe trophy, but since there was someone who did go before him, he couldn't get that. So he was much more focused on the 5,000 reward. Yeah, and
what's the 5,000 reward?
It's to the shortest time limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So he was much more focused on that. And while they were going, there was another actually racer, a sailor, and the second one was like Nigel. His name is Nigel. He was really stressed because, oh yeah, he's catching up to me, you know, I need to go faster. And even though his boat was like in a really bad condition, he really started to go off, but he came across a storm, so his boat just started broken and he couldn't continue the race, so he had to drop out. And at this, Donald was like in a state that he never wanted to be in, because if he did go back, even though he said the time was like really bad, he did calculate the timeline, but he did a lot of mistakes because he didn't actually felt or like did that much of speed on a boat before that. And so when he came back, most of the like judges or like the people who actually took care of this race would go through his logbooks to make sure everything was fine, and he would actually be found out to be a fraud, and he didn't want that. He was scared of it. So at the end of the 8 and 9 months, he actually started to just like lose his minds. At the logbooks, he started to talk about philosophy and metaphysics, and he said that this was all a game and that he didn't need to play anymore, and it is the end. He started to say some things like a crazy person would, because 8 months alone at the sea with that condition, that's just like really rough.
Do you think he died because of the conditions, or was it a suicide?
I think it was because of the conditions. He didn't have, at first I think, he didn't have any intentions to commit suicide, and he's not counted as that as long as I know. He's just like a missing person, because when they found the boat in the mid-Atlantic, there was like no one. He just jumped overboard, they thought, and one of the logbooks was missing. There was supposed to be 4 logbooks, but there were only 3. So at first I don't think he actually wanted to commit suicide or anything like that, but he actually felt like he had no choice, because if he was proven to be a fraud, then his job, his identity would be like in crisis. Like his family would be embarrassed of him. His child wouldn't live freely. So I think at the end of the time he started to overthinking, and he just said that, okay, this is a game that I do not need to play anymore. It is the end, and just jumped overboard.
So in all these bad conditions and in all this poorness, what do you think made him think he would win the race?
I think it was actually from hopelessness, since he was going bankruptcy and wanted to give his children like a life he didn't have, because he had to suffer poverty when he was a child, and he didn't want that for his child either. So he started this race and he hoped for something, but sadly that didn't happen. But for his family, the person who won the £5,000 award actually donated the money to his family.
Oh,
that was like a really good sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, he's still counted as a missing person. Yeah.
So if he wasn't missing right now, how old would he be?
I'm not sure. Like if he was 36 in 1966, then I think maybe like 90, 80 or...
Would there be a chance that he is still living?
Yeah, I do think like there was like at that time there was a chance that he would be alive. Maybe like, I don't know, if he jumped overboard close to a land, like a mass of land, maybe he would like swim or something, maybe like to the shore. But yeah, he's not alive. I don't think so. He's dead. Yeah. And there are actually a lot of documentaries, books, and films about this thing. Yeah, his son Simon actually talked to this about the press. Like he talked to this, like how he felt when he was a child, what happened. Like his mother came to him when his father's missing was confirmed, and when they found the boat without the sailor in it, they actually like told this to the family, obviously. And the mother actually had to say this to the children, like in a way to, like, yeah, your father is like this, yeah. I think like that would be like really shocking, like, because they didn't think they wouldn't see their father again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do you have anything to tell me about him more?
While I did my research for things personally, he didn't have anything. Like, it only told things about the occurrence of his losing, and not anything personally.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming to our podcast today.
Thank you for having me as a guest.
Guys, that was the ending of another Yaşam Tasarım Experience episode. Until next week, peace out.